So in this video, first up I wanted to start this off in like the most boring possible way, but I did want to say that today is Sam's actual birthday, and today, since we celebrated yesterday, don't worry, there is an actual video, but I want to go through this first. Or since we celebrated yesterday, it worked out really well because yesterday, he got to open his presents, he got a lot of playtime, and today we kind of just left the house decorated, and then today we just been playing with him a lot for a while, and we have noticed one thing though. Well, also I discovered something yesterday, that for his birthday, we got him this ball, and it's like a playtime ball or something. It was some and it's a squeaky ball, and it's green, and it's round, and it squeaks, and it's bacon scented. My dad picked it. It is his favorite toy. Out of all of the toys that he has in general, it is his favorite toy, and yeah. I kind of figured he was gonna like it because of the fact that he did have one when he was little. It eventually went missing, and so he has a new one, and he loves it. Also, the funny thing is, this is proof that I'm short. So I made a video wrapping his gifts, and in it I showed you each thing, and I showed you his dog bed. And if I sit crisscross applesauce, I can fit in his dog bed. Use it as a chair. Sorry, I was just eating. So I'm literally short enough and have this skinny enough legs to fit in his dog bed if I sit crisscross apples, or if I sit with my legs straight out in front of me, coming off. So yeah, that's when you know you're short. Or when that happens so easily, and I think it has to do with my skinny legs and my skinny, I just have a skinny area, below the waist down to my feet, skinny but good. So yeah, this video, what it actually is I'm going to be talking about my advanced ballet class that I did the other night, which was very, it was fun. And I want to talk about and trying to talk about a few things because it was different than what I thought. I thought, I didn't... So going into it, I didn't really know what I was going to get. I assumed it was advanced because on the thing it said ages 10 and up. So I'm 15 and it's an advanced ballet class. And then, there we go. So I'm 15 and I assumed it was an advanced ballet class because it was ages 10 and up. And then so literally I logged on not really knowing what to expect. And right off the bat I noticed something, that one of the kids in person, really nice little girl, she didn't look like she was 10 and up. She generally didn't look that. She looked like she was very little, but I was fine, I'm fine with her being in the class. She must be an advanced dancer then if she got moved up. Which at this point is my only explanation of why, she was in the class, was she had to get moved up because it's 10 and up. And I read the thing, so many times. So I knew for a fact exactly what it said, and 10 and up. Then I didn't know what to expect. I brought out the ballet bar because I figured, we're going to be doing, stuff with the bar probably because it's a ballet bar and a ballet class. And so But then we started off, and I was getting ready for it, and I was getting my point shoes on, and then in which I'm gonna get to something in a minute that was kind of one of those stories that is interesting, which is, and immediately I was thinking in my head I'm hoping my feet don't get destroyed again, because I worn my point shoes since they got destroyed, but I haven't worn them for very long, and not for a full class. I always take them off at some point on a break, and so literally what happened was that I tried not to do too much on point or before the class, so to kind of prevent my feet from being destroyed. And so I were getting going on the class and stuff, and then all of a sudden I at this point I said maybe about 4 or 5 times that my feet are definitely gonna be destroyed. Luckily they weren't too bad afterwards. There was some kind of more pink spots and stuff, but they weren't destroyed or anything. And then literally what happened was that all of a sudden we're taking the class and it was definitely advanced in the sense that a lot of the steps, I knew a lot of the steps, and I was kind of using the class of to see if I'm advanced, because I was 99% sure I'm advanced when it comes to everything but flexibility and balance. At one point there were a couple of other things that I struggled with, but I fixed them. Right now I don't struggle with. So right now the only 2 things is the flexibility and the balance. And I just kind of went with a simple smile for my face, since the music didn't really have any words or anything, and it didn't really have anything to tell what sort of face I should be doing, and I just kind of saw that most everyone was doing that, pretty much everyone was doing that anyway, so I'm guessing it's the right face. And all of a sudden, and which, by the way, this was advanced. I knew a lot of the steps because, from ballet class and stuff, I knew a lot of the steps, and my technique was really good. And I noticed right off the bat, you didn't want to be called out. What would happen is the teacher would go around calling people out, either on Zoom or in person, and you didn't want to be called out, because if you did, it means that it was her way of correcting you. She would be I'm just going to use my name as an example. Even though I didn't get called out, this is an example. Wally, straighten that leg or something. She would call you out and then tell you a mistake that you made and how to fix it. That you need to fix it. But the combos, the part that threw me off was how fast we had to learn them. We literally learned a 2-minute combo, it seemed with the ballet bar in 30 seconds. It was so fast. She would be glissade, pas de bourrée, and glissade jeté, and releve up, pliqué, and demi-pliqué, and releve up, arabesque, and when nicely tilt, pliqué, and soutenu. And I'm literally, that speed that I was just talking was how fast we actually were learning the stuff. So, you had to be advanced in timing, which is something that I'm really good at. I'm able to pick things up really, really fast and stuff. So, that was, that I feel is far as steps go, it was, a lot of it was pretty advanced. And there were some areas that weren't, advanced, tondus, because we did a couple of them. But that, and, not everything can be advanced 24/7. You gotta work on the basics. But I think the thing that made it so hard was the timing, and I didn't struggle with it. It was just the fact of picking it up. and there was like one or two kids, I want to say, and that like were struggling with timing and picking it up and being like, what was that again? And then she would go over it again, and I'm like, this is annoying to me as a dancer because if you can't handle it, if you can't pick up on the timing, and like, it's fine if you can't, like, what my perspective is, if you are doing a class, and everyone else is like learning it, doing really good, and you're like back there kind of struggling, only to pick it up, and then the teacher has to stop, slow things down, and like stop for a minute, explain to you a lot slower what like the dance is and stuff and the steps, just for you to ask her again. Like, that's when I get annoyed. I'm like, if you can't pick it up, and it's fine to like the first time to be like, hey, can you help me a little bit? Like, that's fine, like, that's normal. But when it gets to be more than 2 times, that's when I'm like, you shouldn't be in the class. Because clearly, if you're just going to keep interrupting the class, as you're, first up, you're interrupting you in a way because, like, you're trying to, like, learn it and stuff and pick it up, but you're also interrupting everyone because when we could be moving on, doing the next thing and get a lot more done in our time, we can't because we're stopping because you don't know the combo and you're like asking like 5 million times what it is when you already been told 2 or more times what it is, and not like, oh, like she was telling you 2 or more times fast, like she was actually like taking her time, like slowly telling you, and watching you kind of do it first, running it through like a couple of times with you, which is taking time from the teacher and taking time from everyone in the class. Like, that's my opinion, and it's not like, oh, like, I don't want you in the class. I'm like, if you can't handle it, then you shouldn't be doing it. And like, that's why at one point, I'm not going to say who, but a family member of mine, when I first started, like, falling in love with dance and stuff, or at one point when we were talking about putting me in a dance studio before we moved, a family member of mine, I said, you do realize that you're not an advanced dancer, or which at the time I wasn't, so like, they weren't being mean in that case. And you realize you're going to be put in, if you do, you're going to be put in a class with a bunch of like 3 and 4-year-olds. And I'm like, good. Like, I was personally like, fine with that, like, because guess what, I can kind of like, because of me being able to pick things up so fast, I can help out the other kids, that are struggling, and I can kind of be more of like a role model or like something that they should want to work towards and be like. And it's not me like, oh, I should be famous and like, no, it's just that I have so many good qualities that I can pick up that so many amazing things that, like, in a way, it can be, like, it's good for, like, the teacher and the class, and like, in a couple of kids are struggling, only she kind of has someone to kind of, like, demonstrate or, like, show it a little bit slower to help the people who are struggling. But now, since that was, like, 5 years ago, yeah, it was a thing. But I really overall enjoyed the class. It was advanced. We were picking up. But here's where it gets interesting. So we were working at the ballet bar, and all of a sudden, something seemed weird down by my feet. I looked at one of my point shoes. So we always tie my point shoes up like really nice. We tie them up a little bit tighter or around the ankle because if we don't, since these specific point shoes are like room to grow and stuff, which is why I'll have them for a really long time. Plus, I'm probably not going to grow any taller anyway, like, and that's not like anyone's fault. Like, we all, like, doctors and stuff, since I was a baby, said that I was probably not going to get much taller than, like, around this height. They said, and if I did, and then it would be a little bit shocking, but, like, fine, like, you know, like. And if you're wondering what that spot is up there, I have no clue. But, like, I looked down, and one of my, like, point shoe, like, laces was coming untied. It was coming untied, but I was like, okay, it's just a little bit looser. It's, like, not a big deal. Like, I'll just keep going. And then after, like, a couple of minutes, I looked down, and, like, it was completely untied. Both of my, like, on my one foot, both of the point shoelaces had came undone. So literally, what I would do is, and what I did was I took them and I shoved them up into the shoe because I didn't want to have to stop dancing and miss part of the class because, like, this class meant a lot more to me than a lot of them do because it was advanced and it was my first time not being held back. Like, with the worldwide, I keep doing it, and yes, I'm being held back a lot as a dancer. And in a way that is unfair to me, but it's also not because I get it. Like, the reason I keep doing it is the teachers are amazing. Like, I love the teachers, but I also keep doing it because it will help me work on my flexibility. It will help me work on my balance. And it will get me to where once those things make a lot more improvement, I'm pretty much going to be guaranteed to make it on a competition team. And stuff, and like, it helps me out with a lot of, like, little things, because as a dancer, yes, you should continue moving on to more advanced stuff and challenging yourself, but you also need to be able to know the beginner stuff. You can't walk in and be like, oh, I already know this beginner stuff, so I'm not going to do it. And that's something that I actually messed up on, and I made a mistake with. And what I mean by that is that every Wednesday we did this one, like, kind of combo, like, situation where we would do, like, these, like, jumps and these turns and things, and, like, these leg kicks, and, like, combos where we would, like, walk across the room, but not walk. We would, like, be turning and, like, doing these leg kicks and, like, different things, and it was kind of more, it was, like, medium, I would say. Like, it's not beginner, but it's not advanced. Like, it's right in the middle to where, like, there's ways to make it a little bit less advanced and ways to kind of make it more advanced, but not really make it more advanced. Showcase, oh, I can do this stuff easily. And it got to where we were doing it every week to the point where I actually stopped. Like, I actually stopped and started doing my own thing. I started doing these amazing jumps and turns and stuff. Like, I started working on what I need to be worked on, also to see if the teacher would even point it out, because my camera was on. Never got pointed out, but now I'm like, what I need to be doing now is, yes, ultimately what I was doing and working on my own, like, stuff that I needed to work on, the more advanced. Yes, I should be working, but what I need to do is I need to watch them and do what they're doing for a little bit, and then maybe once I'm like, okay, I worked on that stuff today, hey, I know it, then, like, take, like, a minute or two, like, a very short amount of time to work on, like, work on the stuff that is more advanced that I need to work on. And also, I was really excited because we moved on, and at the end we did like a ballet. It wasn't real. It was more of a contemporary combo at the end with like some ballet steps in it, and because the teacher said that. Something that I did was right before we got onto that, like before we finished with the bar, or like she went like, okay, and you all have like 2 minutes to do whatever you need, like use the restroom, get some water, whatever like you need to do. And I'm like, thank you. And I immediately took my point shoes off because I would have kept them on, to be honest. But since I have yet to try a jump in them, and also due to the fact that they were one of them was coming untied completely. Like at that point, it wasn't even tied anymore. So like I kind of just took them off, and then I did a couple turns, but for the ending we threw in a turn with the ballet bar, and then we also threw like another turn where we would like have our hand on the bar, and then we would let go, turn, and grab it with our other hand and stuff like at the ending. And I was nervous because she gave us this one type of turn. I think it's a pirouette or something. I forget like the technical word for her. And I'm like, oh, I struggle with this. Like, this isn't going to be good. Because I do struggle. For a really long time, I did struggle with that turn. Because I struggle with, for the most part, I'm really good at jumps, but the second you give me a turn that my leg has to be off the ground, like one of my legs has to be off the ground, is when I start struggling. But apparently not anymore. I still struggle with my like leg catch turns or leg hold turns, but that makes sense though because I turn very fast. Like I turn very fast, and that's kind of okay. Like it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, I also don't have my leg hold yet, so that's also part of why. Because I turn so fast that I never get time to get up. Like I literally kick off with my foot, and then I start to bring it up, and by the time it gets as far up there as it's gonna get, my turn's already done. So yeah, need to work on that and stuff. Things I need to work on, obviously, but I'm actually gonna be like looking over here really quick to see what is side, split, front. Oh wait, I can mark that off. Let me find where's my ink? Can't find my ink pen. So instead, I'm just gonna use my marker. Anything else I can mark off? Nope, that can't be marked off. That also can't be marked off. That's been okay. Sure. I was marking something off really quick off of my like things that are like goals and stuff, which I'm about to make new ones soon because most all of them are marked off. There's like 2 or 3, there's 4 left on there, which is like 5, which is hit 100 subscribers, hit 200 subscribers, get a back bend, get flexible. And then there's one more, which is, oh wait, there's 6, which is get a leg hold, and then the last one, number 6, and my side splits. But like when I started, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's actually a couple others that I'm just now realizing aren't my, like, get famous and like, but join a competition dance team and see my crush. But other than that, most of them are marked off, so I'm gonna probably make a new thing of them. But I want to tell you about this dance class, and so like, we went and started the turns, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do the best I can. And somehow I nailed the turn, and I'm like, wait, is this just like a one-time mistake? Cause, like, you know. Oh, and then like we were working on them even more, and I just kept nailing them, and I realized I nailed the turn. Like, I had that turn. Now I'm really good at them, doing them. And so that made me really. Then we moved on to like a combo, and that we were taught really fast, and it was annoying because this class there were some annoying points where she would like go really fast, like teaching it to us, and then she would be like, I forget like this, never mind, I'm gonna do this instead, and like she would change it on us, and I'm like, luckily I pick up really fast. Like you can teach me like a quarter of a combo in like 2 minutes. Like I can literally learn a whole combo in 15 minutes. Like a whole combo, have it stage ready, and practically be in my already like getting in my costume situation. I would say do my hair, but in fairness, sometimes my dad does my hair, like occasionally. But for the most part, I try to do it only because he's really good at doing it. I hate the short hair though. Like the short hair, like as I expected, I didn't even love it for like 5 minutes. I felt like I cut it off just to get the thought out of my mind, and now I'm like, terrible decision. Luckily, it's starting to kind of grow a little bit because like there's like this, which before it was like right here. So it's like starting to grow, but it's not growing fast enough for my liking. Also, this is bad because as a dancer, like this, if it flies even a little bit, like it could like cover up my face and stuff. Like there's so many bad things as a dancer that having it this short and having this just a little bit that won't go up here, like it's a mess. But yeah. So I just wanted to come on here and tell you that class was like, when we got to combo though, like we were learning it fast and somehow I was nailing it, but with that we at least learned sections. So like she would do like a big section of it, and we would go over that like once or twice, and then we would learn another big section, and so on and so on.